Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of The ProBoh Show, coming to you live at 8:30 a.m. Central European Time, 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 p.m. for our friends in Hong Kong and the Philippines. How are you doing out there, folks? This is another podcast-exclusive episode if you're expecting me on phone radio right now.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Yeah, I'll admit, I pressed the wrong button. It doesn't matter. If you're expecting me on phone radio right now, yeah, this is a podcast exclusive for our live audience joining me on twitch.tv/professional bohemian. Today, that seems to be Mr. Cruzando, Coco Lavanda, The Bridge, Vero, and Eugene. If you want to be as cool as those people and be a part of the show, you have to join me there. Or if you want to vote on the polls outside and around the show, you can join me on Instagram, @professionalbohemian, @professionalbohemian. Or if you want to form a real part of the community, something that I'm going to more and more becoming a hub is my Patreon. Now you can join that thing for free. Occasionally I release a lot of the content on there for free. And you can join it for free now, so it's awesome. Okay, let's see what people are saying. Good morning, long time no see in this time of the day, says Mr. Cruzando. Mr. Cruzando, always a pleasure. Coco, I go by underground, so sometimes I lose the signal, but I'll try to participate. Thank you, Coco. We've got Jeffa here, The Bridge, talking about her altered consciousness. Okay, Bridge and Jeffa, hi guys, how are you doing? Oh my God, friends, do we have an episode for you today? In 100 Humans, I asked them to name something typical a child wants to be when they grow up. Nombra algo típico que un niño quería ser de mayor. Name something typical a child wants to be when they grow up. In today's Complete the News, we'll find out what was discovered on a US-bound plane, un avión con destino al EEU, a los Estados Unidos, after departing London. They found out at 13,000 feet. Terrifying. And if we have time, the piece of news that I've been promising, what is obstructing a city waterline in Ciudad Victoria, if we have time, and only if, my friends. And today's unpopular opinion, it's a good one. Again, online, people are calling me a monster. It is following your passion. Seguir a tu pasión, or seguir tu pasión, is often a waste of time. Suele ser una pérdida de tiempo. Oh, Rob, you are a monster. Yeah, this will be an interesting one. I have mixed feelings on this one, but we'll get into that in a little bit. And it seems to be that a lot of people who wrote to me on Instagram were pretty sure that either A, I'm a monster, or B, I'm wrong. All right, my friends. Well, look, I'm here. You're here. Here we are in the ProBoh studio for today. Let's see what's going on in the world. Okay, some interesting news. Walmart, Costco, and other companies rethink self-checkout. Walmart, Costco, I think we have Costco here in Spain or in Europe at least. By the way, guys, if you're an international listener, we produce this show in Madrid, Spain. Walmart is kind of like our Corte Inglés, Asda or Morrison's in the UK. Walmart, Costco y otras empresas se replantean la autocaja, I think you call it in Spanish. By the way, friends, you have to tell me if I deserve a nivelazo. There is no natch today. The article from Yahoo Finance discusses the growing backlash against self-checkout systems in retail stores. Yes, we have Costco in Las Rozas, says Coco. Yeah, I should go there. I hear they sell a lot of English food. Oh, I miss English. I'm going home for Christmas, guys. I'm so looking forward to it. So yeah, a growing backlash about self-checkout, autocajas. Kind of prescient for me, this, because my mum actually works. My mother works at the checkout of a supermarket. Major retailers like Walmart, Costco, and Booths in the UK are rethinking their self-checkout strategies due to customer complaints and increased shoplifting. Shoplifting is basically when people steal from stores, usually minor theft, but still. Hurto en tiendas, hurto en comercios. I don't know how you'd say that in Spanish. So self-checkouts, yeah. You've often heard me talk about self-checkouts when I'm talking about the new kind of burgeoning AI industry and how it will impact our future employment. And I often say, right, no one helped the checkout ladies when they got replaced. No one helped the people in car manufacturers when they got replaced. Well, it seems like supermarkets are rethinking, están replanteando their thoughts on self-checkout. Okay, so let's check it out in a little more detail. Booths, for instance, is removing self-checkout stations from most of its stores because customers found them slow, unreliable, and impersonal. Interesting. Issues like misidentification of items, especially fruits and vegetables, and the need for age verification for alcohol purchases have made the process cumbersome. Self-checkout was initially adopted in the 1980s to reduce labor costs. Yeah. Dude, this is a failure. Oh, God, comrades. Here we go. This is a failure of capitalism, man. Because if you want to save labor costs, then those people lose their power. The people you fire lose their power of acquisition, and society crumbles. I mean, this is capitalism hanging itself, or handing itself the rope in which to hang itself. Let's continue. So self-checkout initially adopted in the 80s to reduce labor costs, but it has led to a higher merchandise losses from errors and intentional theft, a problem known as shrink. Retailers are now finding that self-checkout contributes to higher shrink rates, with some studies showing loss rates double the industry average. In response, stores are either removing self-checkout machines, adding more staff to these areas, or increasing the number of staffed cash registers to improve customer experience and reduce losses. How do you feel about this? I have to admit, I am one of those people who never use the self-checkout, much to the frustration of the people in Carrefour, the supermarket I often go to. You don't have to queue the self-checkouts here. I just prefer going to a person. I prefer that personal experience. How's it going? Good, thanks. How are you? Very well. Would you like a bag? No, thank you. I brought my own. There's something very comforting in that little ritual of shopping for me. Vero says, se están replanteando. Están replanteándose. Vero.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Vaya nivelazo to you. Yes. So interesting article there. It's are we getting a glimpse into our AI future? Are we going to, as consumers, start demanding the human element? We've got to hope so, right? It's a little glimmer of light, I guess, in quite a worrying future. Let's continue. Okay, I've got a good one for today. Canada. If you're a fan of this show, you've certainly heard of Mr. Carl Miller from Canada. Here we go. Ottawa paid nearly $670,000 for KPMG's advice on cutting consultant costs. Who's KPMG? They're a consultancy. Is this not the most ironic piece of news you've ever heard? Ottawa pagó casi $670,000 por asesoramiento de KPMG para reducir los costes de consultoría. They paid a consultancy over $500,000 to get consulting advice on how to stop using consultants. Canada, go home. You're drunk. What the hell? This is. I wish this was I wish I was trying to fool you here, guys. This is actually new. This is original, 100% verified news. So this comes from the Globe and Mail, Canadian publication, and it discusses the Canadian federal government's decision to hire KPMG consultants for advice on reducing consultant costs at a price of nearly $670,000. This move is a part of a broader effort led by the Treasury Board president to save $15 billion over 5 years from existing spending plans. Is that... No, they don't spend... That's not saying they spend $15 billion on consultants. But you've got to imagine they spend a hell of a lot if they're willing to almost throw $1 million at another consultancy to reduce their reliance on consultants. What the hell? And by the way, that was a mouthful, so elves, thank you. Let's see. Some ATMs are a nightmare. Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. I agree. My pleasure in helping. Oh, Pharaoh.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
Are people trying to outsmart them? No, I think people are using the self-checkouts just to steal things, Bridge. Mr. Cruthando, well done, Canada. This is crazy. Exactly. I mean, it feels like to me when this kind of thing happened, like 20 years ago, heads would roll. Like, people would get fired. People would leave the government in embarrassment when this kind of thing happened. Now it seems like the public have this apathy towards politics and politicians that they're like, oh, well, what do you expect? Should we be holding our politicians maybe a little bit more to account so they can't get away with this kind of craziness? Despite the Liberal Party's 2015 campaign promise to cut back on external consultants' federal spending, as on outsourcing has significantly increased. And the article also highlights the ongoing investigation into federal outsourcing practices, including the cost of the ArriveCan app and allegations of misconduct involving IT staffing companies. Craziness. Just in case, my friend, I know I've got quite a few Canadians listening to the show. My commiserations, friends. And in case you're joining us from England, the US, Spain, and you lament your politicians, it's happening everywhere. Okay, and final piece of news for today. Do you want a positive one? Well, they're both kind of positive. Let's go for Mackenzie Scott. You may not know who this is. Mackenzie Scott is one of the world's richest women. And she has given away $14 billion, nearly half of her fortune, she has given away in just 3 years. Mackenzie Scott, una de las mujeres más ricas del mundo, ha donado 14 billion, so 14 mil millones de dólares, casi la mitad de su fortuna en solo 3 años. My God. Mackenzie Scott, one of the wealthiest women in the world, has been on a mission to donate a significant portion of her fortune to charity. Since 2020, she has given away over $14.1 billion, at least 1,621 charities. This year's contributions totaling $97 million across 17 nonprofits, mainly focusing on, get this, I mean, this is just a beautiful news story, early childhood education and development. I mean, you often hear me berating the uber wealthy, but then there's stories like this that come out. Don't you wish more of the uber wealthy were engaged in practices like this, using their extreme wealth? I mean, look, we should kind of temper this with a little bit of perspective. She's given away $14 billion, almost half of her fortune, which means she has another 15 billion there in the bank. How much does a person really need to live on? I know, I need to stop, because the Americans that drop comments sometimes accuse me of being a communist or a socialist. Right, comrades? All right, let's continue. This approach emphasizes the work of the nonprofits and shifts attention away from the donor. What are we talking about? We're talking about her approach to philanthropy by stopping personal announcements of her donations, leaving the decision to publicize to the receiving to the charities. So Mackenzie Scott actually says nothing about her philanthropy. She makes no announcements. She seems not to be in this for the recognition. She kind of does these things out of the good of her heart and leaves it up to charities to then say whether she has or has not donated. How much truth is there to that? Well, we'll never know, friends. I mean, this is an article in fortune.com, so they've found out somewhere. However, her enormous wealth, largely from Amazon stocks, makes her philanthropic activities highly noteworthy. In a recent development, Scott announced a $250 million open call for community-focused charities, marking a significant change from her previous method of selecting organizations herself. So she's asked charities to reach out to her. Incredible. Incredible. You know, Mackenzie Scott.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
We would love many more like you in the world of the extreme wealth, or the extremely wealthy. The bridge. Elon's maneuvers are far more worrying. Yeah, dude. Oof. The more I read about Neuralink, the more it sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. I mean, you heard me talking about the monkey, the amount of monkeys, monos, that were killed. Yeah, surreptitiously, they didn't really release a lot of that information. It was an expose, I think, by the Washington Post, if I'm not mistaken. And now these things, now the Neuralink chips are open to human trials. God help us. Elon, go home. You're drunk. All right, let's get into today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay, my friends, today's unpopular opinion, today's brain fart, today's pedo cerebral, today's pedo mental is following your passion is often a waste of time. I'm going to get messages about this one. Seguir a tu pasión suele ser una pérdida de tiempo. Following your passion is almost always or often a waste of time. This is a tough one because you're talking to a man who's been known to follow his passion off the edge of cliffs quite often. But more on that in a second. As always, I thoroughly tortured the ProBoh Show elves this morning, and they provided me with some pros and cons. So let's get into those right now. In the pro column, agreeing that following your passion can indeed be a waste of time. In practicality, many passions may not translate to viable careers or sustainable sources of income, potentially leading to financial instability. Narrow focus. Overemphasizing a single passion can lead to a lack of development in other important areas, both personally and professionally. Passions can change over time, making an early commitment to a singular passion potentially short-sighted. Devoting a significant amount of time and resources to one passion might mean missing out on other potentially fulfilling opportunities or career paths. The pros. You've often heard me say, in education, by the time we are spat out of the standard education system and go to university, we are way too young to understand what it is we want to do with our lives. Like, I was lucky enough to go to university when I was in my 20s. I was 21 by the time I got in there. And around me, I was surrounded by 18-year-olds who at that point in their life, without having really that much life experience, were in the position of making the massive decision of deciding, well, this is my future. However, as you know, I have followed my passion quite a lot in my life, and it's led me to quite a bit of success in certain areas. But we'll get into this in a bit. Those are the pros, agreeing that it can be a waste of time. Let me quickly turn my attention to the chat. Carmen is here. She says, this is what consultants we don't pay anymore would say, says Carmen.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
How are you doing? Thank you. First time chatter there. New to the warrior community. How are you doing? Jeff, not at all. For example, my passion is not to die by I don't know what that says, my dude. And that is why I wake up every day. Yeah, it's my passion too. I'm following my passion to stay alive. Okay, in the con column, here we go. Following your passion is valuable. So disagreeing with a pointless contrast. Let's get into it. Pursuing one's passion can lead to a more fulfilling and satisfying life, as it aligns with personal interests and values. People are generally more motivated by productive when they are engaged in work they are passionate about. Passions often drive innovation and creativity, leading to unique contributions in various fields. And finally, those who follow their passions often develop a strong sense of resilience and adaptability, as they are more committed to overcoming challenges in their chosen field. All right, it's a tough one today, because the pragmatic side of me and knowing people in the arts, in and around the art world, don't forget, I haven't always worked in media. I worked as a writer in theater, as a performer, and you guys know of my artistic endeavors. So I do know a lot of artists that struggle. And I know a lot of artists that are successful. One of my best friends, Wayne, in London, very successful fine artist. Would he have gotten there? Would he have gotten there if he didn't pursue his passion? Maybe not, right? Let's see what the chat is saying. Vero, the best goal for a person is to pursue his or her dreams. The hard part is knowing if that dream is easy to achieve or not. I can dream of becoming an astronaut, but if I don't have the skills required, I will never get it. I'm good at eating too much, says the bridge. So yeah. So how do we personally define, or how do we personally make the decision, or come about the understanding of whether we are personally, we have the required skills to really achieve our passions? Isn't passion at some point the abandonment of common sense in the pursuit of what emotionally moves us? Does that make sense? Can it be sometimes frivolous to blindly pursue our passion? Let's face it, guys, we all have bills to pay. We all need to eat, right? They say that if you never want to work a day in your life, work in a job you love. Quite often I find that really quite a toxic thing to say, because let's face it, guys, if we enjoyed our work, they wouldn't have to pay us to do it. All right? Isn't it biblically the punishment that God passed down to Adam to toil in the fields? I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, you're talking to the arch secularist right here, but still, there is a lesson to be learned there. Rafelka, I think even if you work in what you think is your passion, you'll have to do things you hate. Try to find something good in everything you do. Oh.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
Is the problem here an abundance of choice? You've heard me talk about the book, The Paradox of Choice by Professor Barry Schwartz quite often, who makes the case that too much choice can lead us to ultimate dissatisfaction. He tells a story of, he's an older gentleman. He tells a story of going to a shop to buy a new pair of jeans, vaqueros. And when he was young, there was only one style of jean. It was ill-fitting, it looked kind of ugly, but it was the only one you could buy. And every time he picked up his new pair of jeans, he was so happy. And then in a modern era, he went shopping for jeans, and he said, "I'd like a pair of jeans, please." And the woman behind the counter says, "Certainly, sir. What kind of jeans would you like? Would you like blue, black, stonewashed, distressed? I don't know, blue jeans," he says. "Certainly, sir. Would you like tight-fitting, slim-fit, boot cut? I just want, just a normal pair of jeans." "Certainly, sir." He says, I want the kind of jeans that used to be the only kind of jeans that you could get. And he left the shop, he says in his own words, with possibly the best fitting, best looking pair of jeans he'd owned in his life, but he felt worse about the purchase because he thought if he'd spent more time just looking, there was potentially something better out there. And I feel like in certain cases, we hit this wall when it comes to our passions and what we're passionate about in life. Yeah, I mean, look, I earn a fairly decent living, I guess. I mean, I'm comfortable enough. I mean, I couldn't afford to have a family or kids. I can't afford to travel. But, you know, I can feed myself and pay my bills doing what it is I do. This show and everything I do around it on Patreon and things, that is my passion. But I earn nothing for doing it. Would it be more sensible for me to maybe spend more of that time working? Is following your passion often a waste of time? Well, look, I'm not going to tell you that, guys. You're going to tell me. I'm going to release a poll in the chat and you are going to vote. Is following your passion a waste of time? True or false? Friends, so many things you could have been doing this morning. Instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and it means the absolute world, guys. I will see you in a few minutes.
The ProBoh Show!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. If you've just tuned in, my God, what a great start we had. We spoke about how many companies are rethinking the self-checkouts. There was a really interesting word used in that article, how people found them impersonal. And you could probably categorize me as that, even though I have no necessity to use the checkouts with actual humans at them. I could perfectly use a self-checkout. I don't have anything that complicated. I generally don't buy alcohol. You know, why would I bother with the human interaction? Well, because I find it comforting. And it seems like there are more and more people out there that are. I mean, Walmart, Costco, Booths in the UK, all starting to rethink their strategies about replacing people with the self-checkout systems. Then we looked at some really weird news, how Ottawa paid over $500,000, $670,000 million, to a consultancy to get their advice on reducing consultancy costs. Go home, you're drunk. And then we finished off with some uplifting news about Mackenzie Scott, one of the world's richest women, who gave away almost half of her fortune over the period of 3 years and publicizing nothing about it, leaving it 100% up to the charities if they wanted to say something or not. Beautiful news. Doesn't it give you faith in the world that there are people out there like that, especially in the billionaire class? A class we often go to war with a little bit on this show. How are you doing? Edward joining us in the chat. We've got Sam here. We've got Rafelka, Eugene, The Bridge, Vero, Carmen, Jeffa, Mr. Cruthan. Oh my God, guys. Coco Lavanda. You guys are killing it today, guys.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
I love it that you're so active in the chat. After all that, we went into today's unpopular opinion, a good one today, and one that actually hits me where I live. Following your passion is often a waste of time. We looked at some pros and cons. I got quite a few messages on Instagram. I got a lot of messages in the chat. We'll get to a few of those right now. Eugene, it would be boring. It would be a boring life, aburrido, without passions. True story, Eugene. Rafelka says, yes, it's like parking in an empty garage. It takes me ages to pick one. Yeah, we made the choice. Like Rafelka said something interesting. You've got to find something good in everything you do. And I kind of covered something, a piece of literature that I've quoted quite often in this show, The Paradox of Choice. And I think there is a certain amount of truth in that paradox in how we view our passions. Like I have friends who flit from one passion to the next, never concentrating on one solid thing, meanwhile all the time complaining about their current employment. Like, with the absence of choice, if all you had was your job that you had now and no possibility of leaving, you would find positivity in it. You know, we often kind of think that being happy with what you've got, what you have, as opposed to pursuing something you don't have, we often view that being content with what you have is in some way inferior from the pleasure you receive from the pursuit of something unobtainable. And I would argue that's not the case. I am a person who relentlessly pursues their passions, whether that's painting, writing, or this show, for example. I pursue it doggedly. And you heard me say before that I don't make any money making this show, and I don't. Yet it's the one thing that I maintain a constancy with this show that I don't in anything else in my life. Why is that? We're going to break down what passion means in a second, to me at least. Okay, let's continue. Sam, following is not a waste of time. Following your passion is not a waste of time. Achieving it is. Interesting. We only feel compelled to chase the ones that run away. A little wisdom there. Right? I can't remember where I got that from. I think it's from the movie Dangerous Liaisons. But it's true, right? Once you achieve your passion, all of a sudden it loses some of its shine. I have anecdotes about that. I remember when I first started in pursuing theatre, writing, and performing as a goal in life. I started the journey at university when I made my big life change. And really within 5 years, I was at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival and I got my first 5-star review for a play that I wrote and I performed in. And instantly, almost instantly, the theatre started to lose its shine. 2 years later, I was living in Spain, playing guitar in hotels. Then I decided I wanted to do TV. And by the way, if you're a member of my Patreon, you'll actually see the first TV show I produced and performed in up there right now, or at least the first 2 episodes. I wanted to do TV. I thought TV. I've done radio. I want to do TV. Got my TV show. That was the last time I wanted to be in front of a camera. Is there a lot more satisfaction in the pursuit of a passion rather than in the achieving of it? Could be. The Bridge. I am a woman, Rob. Even if I am part cyborg, I can do 2 things at the same time. Okay, congratulations, Bridge. I totally agree with you, Rob, says The Bridge. The best team, says Jeffa. Edward's here. He says, hi, dudes. You're killing it today. Killing it. So I did release the poll on Instagram, as I want to do. If you want to vote on those before the show, you can join me there at Professional Bohemian, Bohemio Profesional in English. On Instagram, they said 54% false. A lot of people voted. 54% false. And I got some messages. Mia reached out to us again. She said, honestly, blindly following your passion can be a dead end. It's smarter to focus on building a stable career first. Leo, man, that's total nonsense. Your passion is your soul speaking. Leo, no offense, dude, but you kind of sound like an Instagram motivational poster. But thanks for playing. No, mate. Look, I get it. And and it's true. You know, you can't control your passions. You're passionate about what you're passionate about. Tara says, this is a tricky one. I teach my students to be realistic. Sure, follow your passion, but you've got to have a plan B. Yeah, that's some wise words from Tara. Eric says, I think it's all about balance. Nessa, I couldn't disagree more, says Nessa. We're here 5 minutes. You might as well follow your passion if that makes you happy. Or is it better to live regretting that you never tried, being miserable and making everybody else that way too along the way? Come on. True. So let's break down what passion really is, right? I mean, what does passion mean to you? Vero here says, it took me some time to understand my best skill is my proficiency in languages. Now I've made this skill my way of living. It has become my passion. Interesting. Here's the thing. So most of the things I've been very lucky in my life, and a few of the things that I'm passionate about, I've turned into a job. But once I've started, the thing that Sam said before, following your passion is not a waste of time, achieving it is, there is so much truth to that. Because there's this, at certain points in my life, my hyper focus has been on something. I've achieved it and turned it into a career, and at that point, it stopped being my passion. It started being my job. Does that make sense? Whereas this show, for example, you know, I do it practically for free, and I still love it. I still love it. Will there be a point in the future where I'm making enough money just to eke out an existence just making this show, and I don't have to do anything else? At that point, will I lose my passion for it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Do you know why? Because here's the thing about passions, guys. A passion is not defined by how much money you can make from it. A passion is defined by how much enjoyment you obtain in the act of doing it. Now, when I was painting, so many people said, oh God, Rob, you've got to sell your paintings. You've got to sell these paintings. They're so beautiful. You've got to sell them. You've got to sell them. Like as if that was the point of the painting. But for me, it wasn't. For me, it was about the enjoyment I derived from in the act of painting those pieces. Does that make sense? But anyway, that's just my opinion. No one cares about my opinion. What we care about here is your opinion, friends. And I asked you, the live audience in the chat, is following your passion a waste of time? You guys said 67% false. True goddamn story, right? True story. Look, a passion is not defined by how much money you can make doing it. A passion is defined by how much enjoyment you derive in the act of participating in that passion. I think so often in life we put a financial price tag on what it is we enjoy doing, and if we don't earn money doing that thing, then it's a waste of time. What does a waste of time mean? I would say maybe a waste of time is spending 8 hours a day in a stifling environment and then not getting out your creativity or passion in some other project. I would say that is a waste of time. I would never call it a waste of time to pour your heart and soul into something. I mean, we shouldn't be placing a financial price tag on where our heart moves us. Now I'm the one who sounds like an Instagram, a motivational Instagram post. So apologies, Leo, but it's true. And I have followed my passions in and out of jobs around the world, from here in Europe to all over England to off the coast of Africa. And here I am, talking to you guys right now in what is my passion. But that's just my opinion, guys. And as Grandpa Bo used to say, opinions, they're like buttholes. Everybody has one and they all stink. Carmen, thank God that was your answer. Yeah, absolutely. Come on. And the bridge balance is key, Rob. I agree. Edward says, how many languages do you speak, Vero? Interesting question. Yeah, Vero, I'd love to know the answer to that myself. All right, on that note, let's go to today's 100 Humans. Oh my God, friends, it was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys. And on that walk, I encountered 100 humans. And I asked them all a question. Today's question was, name something typical a child wants to be when they grow up. I hope you appreciate that I'm asking the 100 humans lately questions related to the unpopular opinion. See, every day we're making tweaks to make the show a little better. Okay, here we go. Nombra algo típico que un niño quería ser de mayor. Name something typical a child wants to be when they grow up. I asked them that question. They gave me their answers. I'm in possession of the top 7 answers right here. Your job in the chat is to identify those top 7 answers. All right. Ooh, there are some answers appearing in the chat. Some good ones at that. You know, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian when I was growing up. Stand-up comedian / artist. I didn't fall too far away. All right, let's see. Okay, Eugene is kicking us off today, starting with astronaut. An astronaut. Something typical a child wants to be when they grow up. An astronaut. That's astronauta, I think, in Spanish. Right? Astronauta, yeah. All right, here we go. Is it there? Yes, it is. Woo. Well done. Astronaut is there, and with 34 of 100 humans, it's a number one answer. Eugene knocking it out of the park on the first answer. Yeah, tiene buena pinta, guys. Oi. Okay, Rafelka says a fireman. Fireman or firefighter? A firefighter. Is it there, though? Bombero, I think you say in Spanish. A typical job that a child wants to be when they grow up. A firefighter. It's there. Well done. Well done. Who was that one? That was Rafelka. Firefighters there. 8 of 100 humans said that one. It is in 4th place. Well done. A football player or a sportsman says Eugene. Sportsman, football player. Is it there? Oh. It's a great answer, but it's not there. Eugene says an actor. An actor. Is an actor there? No, it's not. It's a great answer, though. An actor. They want to be an adult, says Mr. Cruzando.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
Yeah, dude, anything. Anything that means you don't have to eat your greens and you can make your own rules. But Bridge also said actor. Carmen says a vet. A vet. A veterinario. A veterinarian. Is a veterinarian there? A vet? Yes, it is. Well done. 6th most popular answer with 6 of 100 humans. Veterinarian. Okay, what else do we have here? A singer. A lot of I'll give you a clue. There are no entertainment jobs. There are no entertainment jobs. So, it's not there. Jeffers is an accountant. Contable. What kid wants to be? You know what I want to be when I grow up? I want to be an accountant. I want to work with spreadsheets. Is accountant there? Yeah, sadly, it's not there. It's not there. Okay, policeman says Eugene and Vera both say policeman. A police officer. Is police officer there? Yes, it is. Well done. All right, how many? 5 of 100 humans. No, 7, sorry, of 100 humans said police officer. It's in 5th place. A bus driver, says Eugene. Oh, you know what I want to do, Mom, when I grow up? Astronaut. You want to fly spaceships? No. I want to drive buses. Is bus driver there? No, it's not. Good answers, though. Good answers. Rafelka says a race car driver. No. I'm going to give you some clues. Okay. This is not an astronaut. They fly lower. Ooh, that was too much of a clue. Rafelka got it immediately. An airplane pilot. Or a pilot. Is pilot there? Of course it is. Well done. Rafelka. Quick off the mark there. A pilot. 6 of 100 humans said that one. It's in 7th place. Okay, the young people, other than their parents, these are the adults that they're exposed to the most in an institution. Ooh, what kind of adults are children exposed to other than their parents and family members? Oh, God. Most of the people on the radio station that this show is broadcast on are this. Vera knows where it is. She says teachers. Is teachers there? Yes, it is. Makes sense, right? If you're a kid, teachers make all the rules. Yeah, teachers. Yeah, Rafelka, great answer here, says YouTuber. A YouTuber. Yeah, it's a great answer, but it's not there. A big boss. Un jefe. Un jefazo, says Eugene. Great answer, but not there. The last answer is, if you're hurt, this is the person who will make the pain go away. Yeah, this profession is looked upon with quite a lot of respect in society, quite rightly too. Eugene, Vero, they both say a doctor. Is doctor there? Of course it is. Come on. All right, guys, well done. You nailed it. Doctor or chemist, says Rafelka. Great answer. Mr. Cruthando, a superhero. It's not there, but...
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
Of course, man. I want to be Captain America. All right, there you go. Okay, so I asked 100 humans to name something typical a child wants to be when they grow up. In position number... Oh, dude, the sounds don't work. Position number 7. We don't need the sounds, friends. Not me and you. In position number 7, we have a pilot. 6 of 100 humans said that one. In position number 6, we had a veterinarian. Carmen said that one. Well done. 6 of 100 humans. In position number 5, we had a police officer. 7 of 100 humans said that one. In position number 4. Thank you. 100 humans. Welcome back. In position number 4, we had a firefighter. Un bombero. In position number 3, we had un professor, a teacher. As a kid, they make all the rules. Makes a lot of sense. In position number 2, with 20 of 100 humans, we had doctor. Un doctor. And in position number 1, with 34 of 100 humans, congratulations to Eugene. Well done to you. It was astronauta. Guys, you killed it. Let's move on to today's Complete the News.
Complete the news.
Doctor Strange, says the bridge, mixing both the answer of superhero and doctor. Why not? All right, today's Complete the News. You know how this works, my friends. I'm going to give you a real news headline, and you guys are going to complete it. I'm going to leave out some important information if you're one of the people in the chat right now, in our live audience, and you haven't really participated much. This is your moment, because all you have to write is A, B, or C to complete the news. So here we go. Blank discovered on a US-bound aeroplane after departing London. Descubierto blank en un avión con destino a los Estados Unidos tras despegar de Londres at an altitude of 13,000 feet. That is terrifying. 13,000. Do you say pies de altura? How would you say it? Feet. So, blank discovered on a US-bound plane after departing London. Is it A, an alligator, un caiman? Yes, pies, thank you. Thank you, Rafelka. Oh, God, you guys.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Is it A, an alligator, un caiman? Is it B, missing windows, ventanas que faltan? Or is it C, toxic chemicals, productos químicos tóxicos? What is it? Blank discovered on US-bound aeroplane after departing London at 13,000 feet at 13,000 pies de altura. Is it A, an alligator, un caiman? B, missing windows, ventanas que faltan? Or is it C, toxic chemicals, productos químicos tóxicos? A, B, or C? Woo. Is this finally the day where alligator is the answer? Could be. You guys actually seem to think so. Alligator right now in the lead. Just the bridge alone saying missing windows, B. Everybody else settling on A. But are you right, though? Are you right? Let's see. Okay. Blank discovered. So something is discovered on US-bound flight after departing London at 13,000 feet. It is... It is, in fact, congratulations, Bridge B. Missing windows are discovered. Yeah, unbelievable. The crew aboard a US-bound plane discovered a missing window pane at 13,000 feet. A US-bound Airbus A321 plane, which took off from London Stansted Airport last month, was found to have 4 damaged window panes, including 2 that were completely missing at an altitude of 13,000 feet. This unusual occurrence, detailed in a report by the UK's Air Accident Investigation Branch, was discovered mid-flight with 11 crew members and 9 passengers on board, all associated with the tour or operating company. Terrifying. If you are scared of flying like me, this is like your worst nightmare. The cabin was reportedly noisier and colder than usual, leading to the discovery of missing windows. Dude, if movies are to be believed, surely people were getting sucked out of the plane, right? Oh my God, I'm getting anxious just talking about this. The flight returned safely to Stansted after 36 minutes in the air. 36 minutes of hell! This incident highlights the rare but potential risks associated with aircraft window integrity. Yes, a window. Again, guys, you can check out all the news that I use on the show on my Patreon. I think today's show is going to be up for everybody to see, so navigate your way there. You can also become a member without having to pay anything, so take advantage of that. Friends, that's all we've got time for today. Guys, so many things you could have been doing this morning, an infinite number of things. And instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and let me tell you something. It means the absolute world. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart as someone who is pursuing their passion. Guys, thank you, and I'll see you next time.